and edit multi-line doctors, scientists, and other medical experts involved with research into the Wuhan coronavirus, COVID-19, are mysteriously turning up dead all around the world in what appears to be a mass culling of people who know too much truth about the pandemic. One of the latest deaths was that of Alexander Sasha Kagansky, a Russian scientist who had been working on developing a COVID-19 vaccine when he was brutally stabbed and thrown from the window of his 14th floor apartment in St. Petersburg. Reports indicate that Kagansky died under strange circumstances, an understatement considering the nature and timing of his demise. Kagansky had recently been awarded a grant by the Russian government to investigate new ways of diagnosing and treating brain tumors. He was also a vocal advocate for natural remedies like herbs and mushrooms that are known to help kill cancer cells. Another who died this year under similar circumstances was Frank Plummer, a world-renowned Canadian scientist who had also been working on a COVID-19 vaccine when he was apparently taken out by dark entities. Back in January, we reported on Plummer's connections to a communist Chinese spy ring that appears to have been responsible for stealing coronavirus strains from a Canadian lab and taking them to Wuhan. Professor Bing Liu from the University of Pittsburgh is another relevant scientist who was murdered this year, in this case right before he could go public with a new breakthrough concerning the nature of COVID-19. Bing was on the verge of making very significant findings toward understanding the cellular mechanisms that underlie SARS-CoV-2 infection and the cellular basis of the following complications, reads a statement from his colleagues within the Department of Computational and Systems Biology. Then we have Geeta Ramji, an HIV scientist who supposedly died from COVID-19 while visiting London to deliver a lecture about HIV treatment and prevention. Upon returning to Durban, she reportedly felt unwell and went to the hospital, where she died not long thereafter. A World Health Organization, WHO, driver named P. Son Win Wong also died back in May while transporting coronavirus samples for the United Nations. He had been driving a well-marked U.N vehicle at the time when shots were fired, killing him and injuring another passenger. Vaccine whistleblower Brandy Vaughan, a former sales executive from Merck & Co. and founder of LearnTheRisk.org, was also found dead in her home earlier this month beside her 9-year-old son. Vaughan had been working hard to educate the public about vaccine safety risks. Peter Daszak and Ron Fauchier need to be fully investigated. On the flip side, the following people are researchers of interest who are suspected of propagating pandemic fearmongering and fraud, and who could be linked to the aforementioned deaths in some way. Peter Daszak, president of the EcoHealth Alliance, is responsible for orchestrating the myth that COVID-19 was a natural phenomenon. Emails obtained by U.S. Right to Know reveal that employees of EcoHealth Ring led an operation to have 27 prominent health scientists condemn conspiracy theories suggesting that COVID-19 does not have a natural origin. EcoHealth, by the way, is the same non-profit organization that received millions of dollars in U.S. taxpayer funding to genetically manipulate coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Dutch virologist Ron Fauchier is responsible for creating the world's deadliest virus strain. His bioweapons experiments are widely condemned and could be responsible for the unleashing of COVID-19. Fauchier is also responsible for isolating the SARS coronavirus that was smuggled out of Saudi Arabia and sent to Frank Plummer, who as previously mentioned turned up dead just a week after Great Game India published a report on the scandal. More of the latest news about the Wuhan coronavirus, COVID-19, as it breaks can be found at pandemic.news. Image, screen capture.